Welcome to the Mojo Mundi podcast, where it's all about magic, manifesting, and movement. I'm Ginny Watts, the Dancing Witch, and this is an invitation to step into allowing magic in the Minutiae. In episode 14, Allowing Magic to Flow, we explored releasing the Hollywood version of magic, instantaneous, bodacious, and exactly as we dictate, in favor of a deeper understanding of the spiritual and energetic process that is magic. If we are willing to allow magic to proceed in its own timing and own course, we are able to harmonize with the process and the outcome. We place ourselves in the position of attentive observers to the camouflaged workings of deity in daily events. While we discussed these concepts in episode 14, we didn't really explore any examples. In the last few weeks, I have experienced magic shining in simple occurrences, casual conversations, and random emails. These little moments are truly profound. I want to share them so that we may examine the choice to allow the sacred in a simple moment, rather than ignore or reject these moments of divine communication and communion. It seems like a perfect place to start with not knowing, since some of you likely listened to episode 24 where I learned to allow not knowing. I spent a month being present to not knowing, observing not knowing, acknowledging not knowing. It was challenging. It was somewhat like having a large couch in my spiritual living room, a couch that someone got for me, moved in for me, but didn't really ask me if I wanted. It's a nice couch, this not knowing, and it is better than the Barco lounger I had before, but I didn't really ask for it, didn't know I needed it, didn't really want it. The truth is, I still wanted to sit in my old worn-out recliner of wanting to know the end of the story before I proceed. Only now, my old recliner, which is sitting at the curb of my spiritual awareness, waiting to be recycled by deity, is really uncomfortable, and I really want to sink into the rich embrace of not knowing. Fast forward about 3 weeks. As I am skimming my emails, I see an email from tricycle.org offering a free 1-month daily meditation challenge. I seldom look at my tricycle.org emails. I like having them in my inbox, and I occasionally look at them. I also periodically visit the online Tricycle magazine, and it is rare that I open a tricycle.org email. This email, however, just grabbed me because I recognized my busy mind was hampering my spiritual practice and my co-creating. So I signed up. This is the first time I have availed myself of a free offer from tricycle.org. As I mentioned in my last episode, my husband and I are doing the challenge and really appreciating it. Fast forward 2 more weeks, and lo and behold, turns out the path of this meditation challenge is right into the depths of not knowing. Who knew? Not me. And it took me several days before I saw the bigger picture. Let's review. In November, I was in the depths of contrast, struggling with disappointment, uncertainty, frustration. In short, struggling with fear. I leaned into my deities and received guidance to move into trust and this idea of not knowing, a phrase I had not, at least consciously, ever heard before. In fact, it sounded a little odd to say it out loud. Odd, but very right. Though I struggled, this time I felt confident I was on the right track, so I hung in with my process and allowed myself to be a beginner, which, incidentally, was more contrast. And one day an email appears, which just happens to be the next step into embracing and experiencing in my physical body the state of not knowing. In fact, it reveals not knowing is a core Zen Buddhist concept. This is magic. What appears to be mundane is revealed in hindsight. The working of deity as co-creator with me lies before me, an obvious weaving of contrast, messages, unmistakable urges, and oddly clear choices, simple offerings, and sensations and feelings of ease, joy, curiosity, and relief. The contrast of not co-creating what I wanted invited me to practice what I preach. My practice revealed a multitude of lingering disharmonies between where my thoughts, beliefs, emotions, and habits were compared with what I dreamed of manifesting. Facing those disharmonies with compassion and faith and allowing opened the door to new understandings and the power of allowing the not knowing. Once I opened to not knowing, my vibration shifted to the point where it attracted guidance to step deeply into not knowing. And this not knowing, like allowing, is more than just a powerful part of manifesting. It is, in fact, part and parcel of deep connecting with Goddess, Creator, Allah, God, the Tao. That is absolutely magic, and I could easily have overlooked it and missed the joy of my co-creating with my goddesses and gods. Magic in the Minutiae, example number 2. In September of 2025, while attending Celebrating Women, I purchased a piece of art from my friend Casey Crone, who has been a guest on the Mojo Mundi podcast and who has done artwork for my book and my website. This piece of art just grabbed me when I passed by Casey's booth. I didn't know why, but I knew that I needed to purchase it. So I did. Casey wasn't even at her booth at the time, so I had no idea of the background or energy connected through her to the piece. Fast forward to November 29 of 2025, almost 2 months to the day after I purchased Casey's art. I am at Divination Club and pulled 2 cards from my friend's deck for my own reading. Both address the ancestors, which have never been a part of my spiritual practices. The cards speak volumes to me, and one of the cards directs me to create an altar to the ancestors to thank them and to open to their wisdom and assistance. The other card directs me to recognize the false beliefs passed down from my ancestors that are interfering with my co-creating, and encourages me to do a ritual of forgiving my ancestors, acknowledging and thanking them for their intentions, which lie behind the false beliefs, and releasing these false beliefs to initiate healing into the past, present, and future. A few days later, I follow through with the forgiveness, compassionate gratitude, and releasing. I can feel the ease that arises as I finish the ritual. Over the next couple days, I feel my heart open. I am ready to create an altar to honor my ancestors, but I have no idea how that is going to look. Practicing not knowing, I go about my day, and suddenly, I see Casey's art sitting on a shelf in my office, and it is absolutely an archetypal image of the ancestor. I also suddenly know I want a crystal to place with the image to signify a touchstone for the wisdom and support I am now ready to receive from my ancestors. An image of a rough amethyst crystal appears in my mind's eye, which I happen to actually possess. Once retrieved, the artful rendering of my ancestors' spirits and the crystal that holds and amplifies their wisdom and love are set in a space on my desk. This placement is ideal since the false beliefs over generations in my family center around money, prosperity, and vocation. If we compare the timeline of this ancestor magic with the timeline of the not knowing magic, we notice that they overlap. I did not initially connect the contrast that prompted my foray into the not knowing with the arising of the ancestors in my awareness. I see, looking back, that contrast and my responses to it called the ancestor cards to me. What is truly remarkable is that part of the ritual solution communicated through those cards I pulled for that late November reading was manifested a little over 2 months before the card reading. The solution called to me so clearly that I felt compelled to purchase a piece of art, the importance of which I would not understand for another 5 weeks. That is magic, the simple, complex, obvious, and hidden path of communication with loving deity. I'd like to offer a final example which beautifully exemplifies how delightfully deity communicates through the people we call into our lives. My friend Dina, who has also been a guest on the Mojo Mundi podcast, connected me with Colette Baron-Reid, who is, according to her website, colettebaronreid.com, a best-selling author, internationally recognized oracle expert, spiritual intuitive, and personal transformation thought leader. She is also an amazing artist who creates beautiful, soulful oracle decks. I got on Colette's email list, and on December 18, 2025, I received her invitation to join a free online workshop to learn a new version, Colette's version, of vision boarding. The workshop was set for January 6, 2026. It sounded kind of interesting, but I wasn't sure if I really wanted to take on one more workshop. I went about my life and actually forgot about the offer. Fast forward to January 3, 2026. I am sitting with my friend Patsy, an extraordinary artist who helped me finish, edit, and design my book, contributed photos to my website, and redesigned my business cards. She and I gather each new and full moon to celebrate together. We are talking through how our journeys have unfolded since new moon before we step into the full moon circle. As I explain some of my epiphanies around prosperity and business, I can see she is eager to share something. When I pause, she says, "I thought I knew where you were going, that you were about to say what was coming to me." I forgot to mention she is also powerfully intuitive. But then I realized you didn't know what you were actually saying. After a bit of explanation, she ends with this jewel. You are in service to the goddess. She will exchange energy for the energy you give to those people who are called to work with you. Since you are a human, she is fine with translating that energy exchange into money. The point is, it's not about your relationship with people. It's about your co-creating your service and the goddess. I must tell you, I got goosebumps and a lovely flood of relief. Of course, that is exactly what the full message was. I was so close to my own experience, I couldn't see the bigger picture. I went home with this epiphany tucked away within me. 2 days later, January 5, I am skimming my emails and notice the December 18 invitation email to Colette's Vision Board Workshop. I hadn't starred that email. I wasn't thinking about the email or vision boards or Colette or Dina. That email just jumped out of the horde of emails that had accumulated between December 18 and January 5. I realized the workshop was the next day and I needed to sign up. So I did. And it was great. One of the many things I took from the event was a phrase, a mantra really, that Colette used. Spirit is the source of my supply. That isn't the whole phrase. You really need to check out Colette's offerings to learn the whole mantra. As I heard those words, Spirit is the source of my supply, I broke into a grin. And then I started to laugh. I was flooded with the joy of recognition, the exhilaration of understanding, and the delight of gratitude. Here were Patsy's words that she received directly from the goddess, repeated to me from Colette, who also received her words from Spirit. I didn't need hindsight this time. I could see clearly, in the present, the sweet, surprising unfolding of communication and guidance from Creator. If we layer these 3 examples, one over the other, we see an intricate weaving of events related to my co-creating, all flowing from deity. We can see the way that the energy picks up momentum and clarity, and how my energy expands into greater harmony with my deities. We see how quote-unquote mundane events are part and parcel of magic. God is speaking to us in each moment. Allah communicates through art and nature and humanity and emails. Goddess and we co-create communities of people who support, encourage, enlighten, and bear messages for us. And we do the same for them. If we choose to withdraw from naming these events magic, we minimize them, which results in our missing the bigger picture. We are doomed to think that God never speaks to us. We turn instead to the other and take their words for deities. Or we choose to rejoice. Rejoice in the magic in the minutiae. Where do you see magic arising in the mundane, in the minutiae? Do old habits seem to be interfering with your ability to step into the magic that is your life? Are you searching for ways to connect with other seekers in order to receive and offer support, community, wisdom, divine messages? I am holding a dedicated space just for you to explore your next steps. Connect with me to ignite your inner wisdom and light the way forward on your living path. You can reach me via my website or email or on Facebook at Caravan of Dreams MT. Our music is used by permission of the artist, Sean Phoenix. Thank you, Sean. And thank you to Bozeman Public Library for the Workbench Sound Studio located in beautiful downtown Bozeman, Montana. If you would like to learn more about allowing and how to find your unique style of manifesting, please visit my website, caravanofdreamsmt.com, or email me at dancingwitchmt@gmail.com. This is Ginny Watts, the Dancing Witch. Till next time, blessed be.